been reading the same book for 14 days and I don't know what is holding me back. It is actually a very familiar story and I was supposed to enjoy it, like rereading a book, but I simply can't find the urge to pick up this book and continue reading. It is Life and Death by Stephanie Meyer. It is a retelling of Twilight book, and this time the vampire is a girl and the human is a boy, and it is the same story. Even the name of the human's parents are the same. And at the beginning of this book, the author states that the genders changing, the vampire being a girl and the human being a boy, doesn't change anything at all. It is still the same story and it has the same details, but the genders of every character is changed in this one. Like the werewolf is a little girl. I think it is cuter than Jacob, and these people that the human is having lunch at school are all girls who are trying to get him to like them. Even Dr. Cullen is now a woman and she is very powerful and very cool, I think. But it's not simply the same story as the author stated. Everything is very different and it really irritates me that the girl, the vampire, is more dominant than the boy. I don't remember their names and I don't know how to pronounce them too. Everything is very confusing right now. I don't want to DNF it too because I want to give it a chance. The author states that this new story, these new characters are actually very different from the original story in the end. So I want to see how different they are and how this story evolves around them too. But I don't enjoy it right now. And I watched a few YouTube videos about reading journals and what people are including in their 2025 reading journals. And I made a list of the pages that I want to include in my own journal. There are some additions to it, and there are also some parts that I won't include in this year's journal. Also, I'm gonna have a reading goals page for this year, and here are the goals that I'm planning to accomplish this year. And my current journal is still unfinished, and this is the page that I made for Life and Death, but I don't know when I will be able to complete this page, and I left some more pages if I can manage to finish any other books by the end of this year. Lately, I've been feeling a bit depressed because I've read 3 books by Patti Smith in the last month, and her books mention mostly these sad events in her life, like the passing of her husband and her trying to keep in touch with her children and all of the problems that she had before becoming a big artist. And this is the mood that I have for now. So I want to change it up a bit. I'm trying to read more fiction books that will bring me joy or any other feeling than sadness. And this is the first book that I read with this intention. It is Welcome to Hyunam Bookshop, and I prefer to read it in Turkish because it is my first language and I wanted to make it an easy read for myself. The second book that I'm reading with this intention is The Last One at the Wedding by Jason Ricula. I previously read another book by the same author. It was The Hidden Pictures, and I finished in less than one day. It was really exciting and I was turning the pages with no hesitation. Actually, it was on my Kindle, so I wasn't turning pages, but you know what I mean. And the same thing is happening with this book, and I started it yesterday officially. I wasn't planning to finish it before 2024 ends, but I think it is gonna happen, and I will add another book in my December reads. One thing that irritated me at the beginning of the book was the point of view of the father being so obvious, and he was really ready to judge his future son-in-law. The main event will be the son-in-law being someone they didn't guess. Also, there is this disappearing of a girl who is a previous girlfriend of this son-in-law. People in the town think that it was because of the boy, and the family states that it has nothing to do with the boy. Also, the daughter thinks the same way too. There may be a connection, and I think this is the whole point of this book. And I like the writing style of this author. I don't like horror movies, and I hadn't read a horror book in the past before reading The Hidden Pictures. It wasn't that scary, like seeing everything on the screen. When you don't want to see these scary images, I mean, when you're reading the book, you can simply look away and think about something else. But when you're watching the movie, there are lots of images, the sound effects, and you can't escape from being scared. But it is very different when you're reading the book, and I liked reading a horror book for the first time in my life. couldn't resist and I got a new reading journal. Actually, my previous one has plenty of pages inside it, and I think it will be sufficient for the new year. But I watched so many people unboxing their new journals and setting up their 2025 journal in this clean plate, and I wanted to do the same thing, and I was easily influenced, and we can say that those influencers are very good at their jobs. Today I will trace the spreads that I will be using in my 2025 journal, and this book itself is very similar to one of the bullet journals that I used in my student era, and I loved the pages of it at the time, and this one also has very thick pages, so I hope the ink won't be visible at the back of the page. I want to take this reading journal very seriously. I've been keeping a digital one on my iPad and a physical one, and they were very similar. Also, I talked about how Goodreads was useless at the time, tracking my readings, because I could do everything on my journal very easily, and there's nothing else that Goodreads was adding up on it. I'm very pleasant with Storygraph, the new app, the new reading app that I've downloaded. Now I also want to have a functional reading journal, so I'm sure it will be fun.